In this video, I'm going to show you how to bisect a line or a circular arc in AutoCAD. We'll be loosely following the bisecting a line or circular arc section of your text, the technical drawing text by Bisecting. And I've started off by this, of course, these are the arcs and lines that you'll be working on for your exercise. This arc is one I just drew for the purposes of the video. Before we get started with showing you how to do this, I want to make sure that you check a setting before we get going. So down here in the command area, just type units, UNITS, followed by pressing enter on your keyboard, and it'll bring up the drawing units dialog box. Okay, there's several settings here, but the only one I'm concerned about right now is under angle is the precision. Okay, we want a precision of 4 decimal places, because the answer that I ask you for in the angel assessment has a precision of 4 decimal places, and this needs to match. Okay, so if you have 4 decimal places, just click OK and you're done. If you don't, use the drop down box, go down and select 4 decimal places and then click OK. Okay, so now we're ready to try to bisect our arc. Now in the text they use a compass and draw some arcs to basically find the endpoints of the bisecting line. Now in AutoCAD is easier to just use circles. Okay, so I'm just going to start off by entering the circle command. You can use it, enter it here on the ribbon, or you can just type C and then enter in the command area. And now if you look at what AutoCAD is trying to instruct you to do, it asks you to specify the center point for the circle. Okay, so I want the center point for the circle to be at the end point of the arc. Okay, so if you get near the end point of the arc there and you don't see a square, that lets you know that your end point snap is not turned on, and you need to turn it on. So let's right click on the object snap button and go to settings, and if yours isn't turned on, you can turn it on right there. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now let's go ahead and define this as the center point of the circle. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my circle around right now. It's wanting me, if you look in the command area, it asks me to specify the radius of the circle. Okay, the radius isn't so important, but I want to make sure that this circle and the next circle intersect. Okay, so the edge of the circle needs to go past the midpoint of the arc. Alright, so here's the midpoint. You can see the little triangle light up for the midpoint snap. And let's go just a little bit beyond that. Okay, so the next thing to do is the circles on both sides must have the exact same radius. To ensure that, let's use the copy command. Okay, so you can use copy up here in the ribbon, or you can just type CP followed by pressing enter on the keyboard. And down in the command area, AutoCAD asks me to select the object. So what I want to select is the circle. After I select the circle, I want to press enter on my keyboard. Okay, now AutoCAD asks me to specify the base point. What it's wanting to do is to define a point to use as basically a base point for copying. Okay, my base point needs to be the end point of the arc. Okay, so I will just click the end point of the arc and then click the other end point of the arc. Okay, so now you can see that I have 2 circles and they intersect exactly as I talked about. Now if you look in your text, you can see that if you imagine that this area or 2 arcs intersecting rather than 2 circles, that's basically what they have in the text. Okay, so now we want to create a line that goes from this intersection to this intersection. So we can enter the line. Before we do that, since we're using an intersect object snap, let's check our settings. And I just want to do this again so you can make sure that you know how to do it, and make sure that your intersection running object snap is turned on. Okay, so I'll enter the line command, and I will go, once I see the X that indicates that my intersection is ready to be snapped, I'll click there, and then I'll do the same thing on the other end. Okay, so now I have my bisecting line. At this point you can erase the two circles, and then in Angel I'll ask you some questions about this line. Okay, so you can just click on this line and get the angle of this line in the properties palette. If you don't see your properties palette, you can just simply let me turn mine off. You can just type properties plural in the command area, and then you should see the properties palette. So if you click on this line, you'll see the angle of the line with a 4 decimal place precision. Okay, so this is what I'll be asking you in the Angel assessment: is what is the angle of the line that bisects the arc or line that you'll do on your own. Okay, and you'll do all 4 of these, and you'll have 4 different answers, of course. And I hope this helps you out, and that concludes this video.